My name is Dave Schwandt, and I've been with this program, the Executive Leadership Program, Doctoral Program, for probably longer than almost anybody, because we were here when we initiated it. So when I'm asked questions such as what's the meaning of this program and for me, it probably is best defined in terms of the people that I've been able to associate with over those 25 years. The original concept that I had in my mind, because I came from a physics background, was that essentially we could almost do something like the old Manhattan Project, in which you brought together the great minds and you put people into situations where they had the freedom to essentially find their own voice. And I think that in that process, what you get is generating of new knowledge. Some of the folks that participate over the years walk away with different ideas, different worldviews, if you wish. And so I think that the meaning of that is, at the end of the day, is how do you provide an environment where people can come and feel free to do that kind of an association around certain topics that are probably important to their business life, and in some cases their personal lives. So I think the meaning is definitely based in the essence of the students themselves that have worked with us, and I've been very pleased and very honored to work with. I think there's another meaning, and it may be the meaning associated with the ideas of what higher education is all about. And I think in today's world, higher education is getting such a bad rap because a lot of what people pay for is not relevant to their lives, at least the way they see it. And so I think the meaning of our program, hopefully, has been, and why it's been success that it has been, is that there is a relevance. Talking about ideas and how we manage people, or how we educate people, or how people learn, it has tremendous meaning for them and relevance. So I think it's the students, and to maintain the relevance of the program were the important points for my meaning. I think that, turning to the idea of where do we go from here, the idea of the future, I guess. Being a supporter of complex adaptive systems, I always try to stay away from, in some ways, trying to predict too much what's going to happen, because I'm a firm believer in emergence. But I think the issue of the program in the future years is hopefully that we can maintain the values that have meant meaning to our students. And that becomes difficult, because what you have is certain faculty leaving, certain faculty coming in. They're one of the major mechanisms for maintaining the coherence of it, and of the curriculum. And so I hope that we can maintain the roots of what we're about here. And I think we can. I think that the students themselves, the managers and leaders that come to this program will demand it of us, that we maintain that value in creation of knowledge. I think the future, from the point of view of curriculum and what we teach and what we learn here, it has changed over the last 25 years, maybe 25 times. Every year something in the curriculum changes, and I think that keeps this idea of relevance in the curriculum, and I think we need to make sure that we bring things in. So for example, right now, I'm very interested in what impact the advances in neuroscience are going to make on the way we lead people in organizations. And it certainly has a scientific side, but it also has an ethical side on how we work with people, and once we understand the full power of the brain. So that's just one example of how I think our curriculum needs to continually to reincorporate itself, if you wish. I think that if I was to pick something to, I guess, pass on, or an idea or a charge to pass on to people that are involved in this program, is to maintain the environment so that we can actually tell people that it's safe to seek their own voice when they come into this program. Not that these people are, the people that come to the program are all organizational people and don't have voice. They do. But I think they need a place to be free to inspect that voice. They may walk away with the same ideas, but at least they've been able to be in a place in which they can test those ideas, test them with faculty, test them with other people from the organizations that come to our program. And so I think that that takes effort. In today's world, I think that it's no longer a student-teacher. I think it's much more a partnership that we go through. And so students have to have say in what's happening. And I think the events that are happening today is a good example of how the ELP has been able to maintain a community. And maintaining communities is not cost-free. There is a cost, and that cost is essentially being able to contribute and providing human effort to continue the community. So I think I would pass that on as to say maintain that value, and thus it allows me to say never lose a curiosity.
Hi, my name is Neal Chalofsky, and I was the program manager, program director when the ELP program was established. In fact, I was part of the group that hired Dave Schwandt to develop the program and become its first and longest director. And I taught in the program for quite a number of years and still participate in the program, and so it means very much to me to be able to be here for this celebration and to remember I think the most important thing to me is the camaraderie among the cohorts and the shared learning among the cohorts. Because I do believe that a lot of the learning comes from fellow students, not necessarily from the faculty or from the textbooks. It's from the sharing that goes on among and between students. And I hope that continues in future years, that this camaraderie develops long-standing friendships and part of a network that continues the sharing and continues the learning. And I think a key message that I still pass on to new students on campus, where I primarily work, is to keep an open mind, to come in with a sense of ambiguity. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to be not sure of what's going on. But just keep open and let it all come in and spend time to reflect on it and what it means to you. And don't jump into any one theory or any one idea, but let it all just soak in for a while. And I think it'll all make sense for you in the end, and that's what learning should be about. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sharon Confessore, and I joined the ELP program in 1993 as a faculty member in the areas of adult learning and research. The ELP program for me was my first teaching position after my doctoral degree. So in some ways, I grew up with the students in terms of becoming a good researcher and being a person who could help teach others to do good research. I think that the program gave everybody a really interesting opportunity to be in a place and a space so they could think differently, think about different things, and begin to take different pieces and parts of a puzzle and create a new puzzle. And I think that's probably still the single biggest contribution that the ELP program makes. What would I like to see the ELP program in future years? I would hope that the ELP program would continue its pioneering spirit that we started back in the early days and maintain its rigor and its high reputation for high quality research, and particularly stay very focused on future orientation and new ways that organizations can become more effective and better at what they do. I absolutely believe that the work that we did way back in 1993 around Peter Senge's work in learning, it's taken almost 25 years for it to become really relevant, really focused, really important in what's going on in the workplaces. And while on one hand that's kind of sad and disheartening that it's taken so long, on the other hand, when I look back at all of the work that the ELP students have done and all of the contribution to the knowledge base that they've made, it's very, very heartwarming and gratifying to know that there's a long line of continued knowledge that's continuing to be developed as time goes on. I would hope that the ELP program would continue in that tradition. I think finally, the key message that I'd like to share with the ELP students, I'll start with the past students and say, you built a proud tradition and reputation and place for others to come and learn. You invented a new way of adult learning, and that's been maintained. What I would say to future ELP students is, don't let the quality slip. And in a world where there's a whole lot of much easier ways to get a degree, remember that it's the knowledge you gain, not the degree at the end. Thank you.
I'm John Boswell. I started in this program 25 years ago as a professor of education, and I'm ending it as an emeritus professor of education. I have taught in this program the course Issues and Ideas, which we put together in the School of Education a long time ago to try and get our students to understand that the decisions that they have to make in whether it's public school curriculum or counseling or public school administration or, in this case, educational professional leadership, that there are factors in the world outside that make a difference. And this is the reason that we had the courses, the coursework, the books, the discussions, to get you to think about what you do in relationship to other people. Leadership itself is not necessarily a matter of waving a sword and rushing forward, as those of you in organizations know. It's a matter of trying to persuade people to do what they ought to do without being persuaded. And a leader has to take a lot of different ways of working with people, and it helps if you understand that the world isn't just simply your own bag of tricks, that your own organization is not the center of the universe, that in fact it is affected by outside events, and that's runs through the whole program here. But this course specifically has readings that really don't deal with the professional aspects of your course. So this is what Issues and Ideas is. We read John Dewey and we read Robert Heilbronner on capitalism, and there's a great variety of books and ideas that we've dealt with. And what we expect is that when you leave here, you will have an understanding of the way you and your job or your organization is a part of a much larger operation, and that you will be able to use this in the way you think and deal with people. And if we mean, we ask the question, what does ELP mean to you? This is one of the things that we want it to mean to you, that there's more to the world than your office, your job. Enjoy your program, and I've certainly enjoyed working with you for 25 years. Thank you.